everyone, I'm Megan Jayawardena. Lovely to have you here. We can exercise together. We will be stretching through the upper body, working through some joints that sometimes get a little bit stiff, especially if you're working at a desk all day or driving, even commuting sometimes. You can just stiffen up the upper body. So we're working through the upper body for the next 30 minutes. We'll start by raising the shoulders up near the ears and then pushing the heels of the hands away. 3 more like that. 2 and 1. Then we're making little fists with the hands and we're circling through the wrists. Let the elbows move, let the shoulders move. Come on up with your circles. I'm going to add movement throughout all of the joints right now, and then we'll stretch more deeply once the joints are warmed up. Really reaching the fingertips out the backs of our wrists. We're going to kiss right here. Shoulders down. Hold that for a moment before we breathe in. Breathe out and bring the arms up in front of the forehead. Seatbelts on, and we're rocking a little bit side to side. Your elbows are making a frame for your face, and you can feel how you're stretching out the ribs and the hips a bit. Start to take the face a little bit to that corner and then that elbow. We're moving into the neck. Last 2. Last 1. We're reaching the arms up like the V for victory. Bringing the elbows in. Warming up here. V for victory. Come on in with the elbows. There's 2. There's 1. Now we're reaching one elbow up, one behind, and we're starting to change. Let the ribs start to move with us. You're moving a little bit corner to corner there. Take it a little faster than I am or a little slower. It's up to you. Warming up through the joints there. Last 2 and 1. Then we're bringing the fingertips to the elbows, finding our elbows. The forearms are coming up a little bit over the head there. Shoulders down, check your belly buttons in, and then we're rocking side to side. I'm pushing the bottom rib out. Use your obliques, use your waist. A little comforting rocking movement there. Should feel lovely. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then we're reaching up and over with the right arm, holding it here for a moment. Peeling the bottom rib here away from the hip bone. Really open up that area. The right arm is going to swoop around the front and the left arm is going to follow it. Here we go. Breathing in. Breathing out as we swoop around, up and over. The arms are following each other. Swoop around, up and over. Belly button in as you swoop. Up and over. Good. Last 2. Last 1. All the way up. Big stretch here. Maybe we're a little warmer now in this left elbow. We're bent to the mat and you can reach that. Breathe in, breathe out. Come on up and over to the other side. Find your original stretch here. Your side bend here. Really opening out that waist right there. Then we're going to do the swoops and the arms chasing each other. So we breathe in, breathe out. We're swooping around the other way, up and over. Left arm swoops, right arm chases it. And they chase each other, up and over. Good. Swoop, up and over. Last 2. Last 1. And then your best up and over. Go that little bit further. Reaching. Maybe this right arm comes down to the mat and you're really stretching there. Gorgeous stuff. Holding it there for a moment. Then we're coming on up and we'll change so that the other ankle is in front. We're stretching through the hips here while we're moving. We're taking the rib cage now and we're sliding it forward as if we're in the cow stretch. Pushing the ribs forward and then the cat stretch, pushing the upper back behind us. So we're going cow and cat, cow and cat. Last two, warming through the spine. Last one. Come on up and find our posture. The head over the shoulders, over the hips. The ears and the eyes are facing forward. And we're taking the right ear to the right shoulder. We're rotating the neck. The chin and the nose are looking down the right shoulder. And then we're cradling a little bit here. Gently stretching into the back of the neck and the back of the head as well. Holding it here. Then a little bit dramatic, we're going to reach the chin and the nose up, stretching there, open up through the ribs here as well. And then come all the way down a little bit further. Then we'll come on up, back to the front, and open out. We'll go to the other side. Check posture first. Left ear over to the left shoulder. We're rotating the neck, the chin, and the nose are looking down. And then the left hand comes up. It's a gentle cradle here at the top of the head. Keep on sitting up straight. We're not curled anywhere. We're sitting up nice and tall, shoulders down. Gorgeous stretch for the back of the neck and the head. Breathing in, breathing out. We're tilting the chin and the nose up. A little bit of a dramatic stretch at the moment there. Then we'll breathe in, breathe out, and we're coming down a little bit further. And we're coming on up, releasing that, and we're looking back at the front. Little bit of circles here with the rib cage. Let the elbows, the shoulders, the wrists be relaxed. And then we go the other way, circling around there. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's come on up. We'll take the right leg out at an angle, left foot coming in. We're going to hold that hip, reaching up, breathing in, breathing out. We're tilting over. We're keeping the right knee and the right toes up to the ceiling, really stretching through the waist here and the back. Reach, reach, reach. Then we're coming up, and the sun's coming behind us. A little bind there, tilt again, and take that left shoulder back, looking behind you for a moment. Come on up, all the way up, and we can change sides. Other leg out at an angle. Left arm reaching across, hugging ourselves, holding the hip. Right arm up, here we go. Breathing in. Breathing out, up and over. Checking your knee and your toes are up to the ceiling and find that lovely long stretch, holding it here. A little bit more. We'll come on up. This right arm reaches behind. We've got a bind behind us there. Reach on over, and now we look. Right shoulder back, looking over. Lovely stretch. And then we're coming on up. We're bending this knee, and we're coming onto all fours. Knees and feet apart, under the hips. Hands under the shoulders, and we're rocking a bit forward and back. Pull the abs in. I usually stretch with my seatbelts on. It will help. It will help us stretch further when we've got the core engaged gently. If this is comfortable, will the fingertips turn out east and west, and then you can stretch through the palms of your hands and your wrists there. If that's comfortable, how about rotating the arms, and maybe the fingertips are pointing back to you, having a stretch here for your forearms. This could be smaller, or it could be closer with the fingertips, if that helps. Nice stretch there, really getting into the forearms. We do so much typing and texting these days that these areas of the body can get tight. Will the hands walk away? Have a little walk here, walking away. And then we'll rotate so that the fingertips are facing directly in towards the edge of our mat there. Now our cat-cow here. We're coming up like a cat, curling all the way up. And then there's the cow, hips pushing to the ceiling, ribs pushing through the elbows. Your cat and your cow. Now we're going to circle the cat and cow around. So you're flat back here, coming up into your cat. Your ribs are circling around to the side. Then your cow as you come round, side and up. So it's your cat-cow, but it's a side and around movement, as if your ribs are a barrel. Let the hips bend and circle as well. One more that way, really bend the elbows. We'll go the other way. Cat comes up, cat takes the ribs over, elbows bend, we're into the cow circling, and then we're up and around. Feel this through your whole body, let the neck relax, hips relax. Just let it feel good. Don't worry about what it looks like, think about how good it feels. Then we're here, we're going to bring our feet together. Big toes are touching, knees are coming wider. We're sitting back for a moment, sitting up, circling through the wrists. Here, wrists and the hand joints, the finger joints. Then we're taking our fingertips onto the mat, walking forward so that we're on our elbows. Gently press the hips to the heels. Holding it here for a moment. From here, elbows come out a little bit. Hands can clasp together. We can put our chin down on our hands. We're stretching the sternum and the neck a little bit here, pressing the hips back. If it's too easy, come up on your elbows and have a higher position here. Stretching through the shoulders, the sternum, the neck, and the hips and the back. Hold it here for a moment. Then we're coming up and we're doing the similar stretches in the puppy. So now we're coming up, knees onto the mat. Oop, there we go. Now the hips are floating in the air above the knees, coming down onto our elbows. Have your stretch here, pressing the hips to the ceiling. The sternum is going to head for the mat, arms reaching long. Here we go. Breathing in, breathing out. Sternum coming down, arms reaching, then the forehead. Holding it here. Let the upper body relax into this stretch. Then we'll add the neck and shoulder stretch. Elbows point out at the sides, hands clasp, and we put our chin on our hands here. Rock the hips a little back and forth, tiny bits. Or if that's too easy, come on up on your elbows. They come in a little further. Chin onto the hands, and we rock a little bit here. Only if it feels good. And one. Come on down. Now we're going to stretch our lats. They're at the back here. And we're going to open up the facet joints of the spine. They're the joints that are in the spine, and we're going to take the spine sideways. So it'll look like this, but on the floor. We're going to find our elbows in child's pose on the floor. We're going to breathe in, breathe out. We're going to take them over diagonally and then reach through onto the mat. Try it with me here, sitting up. If any of these are too intense, you can always do them sitting up instead of on the mat. We're going to go to this position on the floor and really open out the lats and the facet joints of the spine. So come on up. Here we go. We'll do it together in child's pose. Knees and feet are now together. We're coming forward onto our elbows. Reaching all the way down. There's our child's pose here. Resting here for a moment. Now we'll add the lats and the facet joints of the spine. We're finding our elbows. We're breathing in, breathing out, lifting up the elbows and forearms. We're at a diagonal now. We're pushing them away and bringing the forehead down. Press the opposite hip away from the elbows as well to increase the stretch. Holding it here for a moment. If you'd like to increase it any more, open up the arms and reach diagonally away, actively pulling on the floor with your fingertips. Holding it here. We'll breathe in. We'll breathe out and come to the middle, child's pose here. And then we'll go to the other side. So we're finding our elbows. We're breathing in. Breathing out, lift the elbows up and press away from the body. Press this opposite hip away from the arms, opening up through the shoulder and the lats. Relaxing here. It doesn't look like very much, but it can feel like a really deep stretch in your hips, your back, and your shoulders. Then we're adding, if you'd like more, breathe in. Breathe out, reach the arms diagonally, and actively walk the fingertips away, holding it there. We'll breathe in, we'll breathe out, and we'll come back to the middle. Then we'll go into a folded child's pose where we're bringing one arm next to us, other arm next to us, and the forehead down to the mat. Really relax and sink into the mat. Wiggle the hips on down, wiggle the neck and the shoulders. We're relaxing the shoulders, letting the arms come down to the mat, holding it here for a moment. From here, we're going to meet on our front. So let's bring our hands forward, elbows forward, and we'll lower ourselves down onto the front of the mat. Legs can be together. That's a little more challenging, or legs and feet can be apart, especially if you know that you might have any compaction in the lower back. We don't want pain or compaction here. We're doing our swan stretch, so fingertips head for the corners of the mat. We breathe in, breathe out, pressing the shoulders away from the ears, lengthening the spine, coming up to wherever you are comfortable. It could be here on your elbows, or you could breathe in, breathe out, float the elbows up, shoulders away from the ears, and we're thinking of lengthening the spine. Hold it there for a moment, and then come down. 3 more like that. We're raising the shoulders back away from the ears while the elbows float up, and they're still away from the ears as we float down. There's 2. Really stretch through the abs, stretch through the spine. Here's the last one. Come on up. Maybe reaching the face up, the crown of the head a little bit further. Looking a little bit over your shoulder, over your other shoulder, to the middle, and we come on down. Legs together if you'd like a little more challenging stretch for the cobra. We'll bring the elbows in. They're hugging the rib cage. Shoulders are strong. Here we go. Breathing in, breathing out. Feet are glued to the mat, and we're bringing ourselves up like a cobra. It could be a small lift. I like to squeeze my glutes here for strength. Shoulder blades are finding each other for strength as well. Lower on down. Take these at your own pace. You're stretching the core, stretching the front core while we lengthen the spine behind us. No need to push yourself too far up though. If it hurts in your lower back, that's too far. Keep it low. Low and warm is excellent for the spine. And with time and practice, you will be able to raise up higher. This last one we'll hold up for a moment, check shoulders, a little bit looking over each shoulder. And we'll lower on down. We'll take our elbows out to the sides, the head is on the hands. We'll move the feet and knees a little bit apart and then have a little rock here. Getting rid of tension in the lower back and the hips, have a little rock. Nice stuff there. Then we're going to meet on our backs. So we're rolling up and the knees will come onto our backs. Knees and feet on the floor. Check that the lower back is into the mat and we're hugging one thigh in. Have a nice big hug here. We're going to get rid of tension in the hips. That can travel up to the shoulders. So we're going to stretch our hips for the moment here. taking this ankle across the knee, gently pressing it with the same hand. The other hand is coming up under our head, and we're pressing the thigh open while the other elbow is opening out next to us. If you'd like a little bit more, bring the hand up. Really open that elbow towards the floor. We're reaching the arm up overhead on that one. And then it comes to join this hand here for a moment. And we'll swap. We'll put that foot down. Other ankle across. Same hand gently pressing the thigh open. Preferably on the thigh, not a joint. The knee joint is a complex joint, so we don't want to press on it when we're stretching. Press the place where there's muscle and it's nice and fleshy to press. This other hand could come under the head, opening up the shoulder there, or possibly on top, letting the elbow touch the floor, having a stretch here. Keep pressing. The other arm reaches overhead, then finds this hand, another stretch there. Come on in for your hug of one knee, other knee. You're in the ball stretch. Hold it here for a moment, rock a little side to side. Then we're keeping one knee in while we lengthen the other leg out. We're going to hold it with the opposite hand at the shin, really hugging in. And the same arm as the bent knee is reaching up on the floor. And then reach in the opposite direction. Press the heels away, press the opposite heel away from the fingertips of the hand. Open up there. Come on in and we'll swap. Other knee in, other leg long onto the mat, hugging in first. The opposite hand keeps hold of the shin, keep on hugging. The same arm reaches up. There we are. Then we're going to push the heels away, especially the heel of the straight leg. Reach the fingertips away, push through the body there. Really stretching out. Should feel great. Push, 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 and then we'll come on in. Then we'll bring both feet flat on the mat, and we'll take the soles of our feet towards each other. We're going to rest here on our backs. Check the small of the back is into the mat. I'm always pulling in my lower abs and my pelvic floor muscles by a tiny lift and pull the whole time I'm stretching. It'll really help with pretty much every form of exercise that we do in daily life, and it will help with stretching to keep your core on and engaged. Both hands find the thighs, and we're gently pressing the thighs open, shoulders wiggle on down, away from the ears. We're going to rest here in the butterfly for a moment. We'll guide the knees back up, and knees and feet wider than the mat, and we're letting the knees go over to one side and up. You can use your hands on your thighs, or they can come to your hips and start to go a little bit further. Getting rid of tension in the hips and lower back so that it doesn't travel up to the shoulders. One more each side. And two. And then we'll walk the feet and knees back together onto the mat. Check the lower back is into the mat. Fingertips are coming up, clasping the hands together. And we're seeing, will the hands reach the floor or near the floor? Let them relax on down. See where they will go and hold them here for a moment. A really great stretch for the hips and the upper body is a slightly more challenging version of this stretch. This stretch, we've got the feet flat on the floor, arms overhead behind us. But if you've got a wall or the back of a door near you, like I do here, another version of this stretch, which will be great if you ever have any curling of the upper back, will be to come up to your wall, bring your hips in close to the wall, legs onto the wall, legs flat against the wall, then clasp our hands just like we did a moment ago, and lower the hands overhead towards the floor, staying here. Relax into it. Wiggle the feet and ankles, and then relax, holding it here. This is the next level up of the shoulder and upper back stretch. Hold it and relax. We're breathing in, breathing out. We're tucking the legs and coming back to where we were. Either way. So if you didn't have a wall near you, then you were in this position with the feet on the floor, the knees bent, holding it here still. Then we'll breathe in, breathe out, we'll tuck the knees, and we'll come on in for the ball hug. The wall stretch that we just did is great to hold for a minute. We won't do that for now because I don't know if everyone has a wall nearby. But that wall stretch, we're aiming to get the hips all the way up to the wall and the arms all the way to the floor. It'll feel amazing, and 1 minute will start to feel fabulous. It'll feel strange at first if you've never done it before, but the more often you do that stretch, it'll just feel wonderful through your hips, shoulders, and back. Stretching the hamstrings and the legs as well. So it's a great all-around stretch to hold for a minute. From here, we'll put one foot down, other foot down, and we can come on up, all the way up to where we started. We'll come back into our tailor position, right ankle in front of the left foot, finding our posture, setting up. We're going to circle the arms at the elbows here, and then the other way. And then we're going to find our rib cage and circle here. Really hold the ribs, and you're circling the ribs over the hips. 4 times in each direction. You're using the oblique muscles in your waist to help the ribs move, and it will feel great. Last one there. Now we've got our hands together, and now we're circling around the knees and the hips and the floor. We're stirring something with a giant wooden spoon. One more in that direction, and then we'll go the other way. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we're taking the fingertips to the elbows. Elbows are nice and high. And you're circling around little golf balls there at the end of your elbows. How about if they're tennis balls, circling to the back? How about if we slow down and they are footballs? We're circling around, opening up and back through those joints. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Fingertips come down, right arm coming up, reaching behind us at the upper back there. We'll support the triceps here. And we really want to, if we're curled anywhere, we really want to lift the ribs up. So we're stretching through the spine and we're stretching up away from the hips. We'll release that and we'll go to the other side. Left fingertips reaching up, bend the elbow. And then if you're around, come on up. Find the triceps and support here. Really keeping the face up, feeling that stretch through the ribs, especially, as well as here. Then we're coming on up. We're finding both elbows and we're breathing in, breathing out. We're guiding the elbows a little bit back behind the ears. Just try not to curl. We're breathing in, breathing out, and we're up, and the elbows are coming back, and the face is still up. And that will go more deeply into your back in a nice way. That's what we want. Come on straight, let the fingertips find the temporals, and we'll circle here. Circling through the ribs, through the shoulders, and then the other way. 2, 3, and 4. We'll open on out, and we'll take the right ear to the right shoulder, cradling here for a moment. Wherever possible, we want to add movement to every day. And wherever possible, if you're doing lots of sports, make sure that you add stretching as well. Stretching will help ease all those muscles after all that hard work. Come on up. Shake it all out. Give yourself a clap. Fabulous work. It's been lovely stretching with you. I hope you feel good, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you for joining me.